Gabba the game night, Gabba the game night, Gabba the game night, yeah.
Hey, it's Gabba the Game Night here, and I am playing some more Phoenix Wright Ace
You
Attorney.
were not playing. Stop lying to the people.
Playing.
You say we're playing, even though technically that wouldn't be correct either, but...
October 8th. 8th? October 18th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Wow, that was a week ago.
Wow.
As of the date we're recording this.
It's Edgyworth! The Edgy Man. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, I can't speak. The defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well. I'd like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Yeah, Detective Gumshoe. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court.
Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here.
The guide map.
To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there's a gate, see? Past that of the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant.
And the security lady.
All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was canceled. Time of death was 2:30 p.m.
I think that's more than just 3 people being there.
The samurai spear was found lodged in the victim's chest, and it was the murder weapon. That's the case, in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to that whole thing again?
I don't think we need it.
I think I can probably remember that. Oh no, I can't remember it!
So, the murder weapon was a spear? How medieval.
Samurai spear added to the court record.
Cool spear though, I'm taking that home. Your Honor.
I would like the spear.
This case is quite simple. Yes.
Damn it, Edgeworth, are you drunk?
If you ask one question, I said that.
That wasn't Edgeworth's voice. That's not really Edgeworth! Pull the mask off!
And that question is... What did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood.
Is he meditating?
Let's call the security officer to the stand.
Damn it, I gotta do this voice again.
Yes, you do. Will the witness declare her name?
My, aren't you the handsome fella? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered.
Your name, please.
Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma.
Your name, please!
Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names. Windy old bag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. Even when I was young, I was not an old bag, but really, see how the children would make fun of me just because if you believe it, but this was Boy, the captain of chess club in junior high. He called me an old bag while I just cried because he had a crush.
Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand.
I was just getting to the good part, dearie.
Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct?
Yes, see, I was.
And to get to the scene of the murder, someone had passed by. I'm sorry, I have cold meetings today.
You know your stuff, dearie.
You may begin your testimony.
She sure is one hell of an old bag. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading toward the studio.
You saw the defendant then? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Cross-examine that. Do it.
So up until that time, anyone who wanted to could go into the studio. Well, there wasn't a security guard at the gate, no. But the main gate was locked, dearie. You need an employee card key to get in. Right, the card key that I have. So what she's saying is no one who wasn't supposed to be there could get in.
Was there anyone at the studios when you arrived at the guard station? I mean, someone could climb the gate.
Run through? They were working out a scene between the Steel Samurai and the Evil Magistrate. They got the basics figured out by noon and would have used the afternoon for practice. Rehearsal was supposed to start at 5. That's why poor old Hammer went to Studio 1 in the afternoon. So Powers was in his dressing room sleeping when he was supposed to be practicing.
Yes, we covered that earlier.
Talk about a laid-back hero.
If there was a 1 in the morning, why did you only get there after noon?
I had some... Oh yeah, I know that part already. What kind of errands? Oh, well, you know. Answer the question. Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers, observing, you know. Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station?
Oh, they're by the forklift.
Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job. I'm not sure your boss would see it that way. Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs. Always. Never missed one in all my years. Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run through too. You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty. That's a bad idea. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5.
You gotta press fast.
Yeah, I'm reading this again. I'm so sorry. How do I go back?
I think these are press left.
Did you see the victim then? Did I see poor old Hammer? Nope. He'd already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station.
Tell us what happened next.
I was at the main gate. Oh, yeah. So you were watching the whole time? No breaks? Not even a second? Of course! I am a professional, you know. Or are you criticizing how I do my job, whippersnapper? No, it's just after seeing you eating those donuts in the guard station yesterday. I can watch the gate and eat donuts at the same time. Snipperwapper! Snipperwapper? Old Windbag is losing it, Nick. Why don't you raise an objection?
So, the witness was on duty through the afternoon the whole time. Very well. What did you see?
How did you know that? Oh, I have my ways. That overdressed young detective told me. I fed him some donuts and he talked and talked. If you ask me, that detective isn't cut out for his job. Poor Detective Gumshoe, getting ratted out by a security guard. 2. You're sure? Sure as spit.
Well, who was the man?
Really? You should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain something. Now, don't get your skivvies all in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was.
Powers.
So you saw
Rangers.
Mr. Powers. That's what I said. Got wax in your ears, Sonny?
Nick, this is your chance.
Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon. My dick. I'll say it again, it was him.
Just stood up saying, Nick, that is where you should present some evidence.
Oh, was I supposed to present? Damn it.
You can still look at this dialogue.
I was too caught up in pressing
You can still look at this dialogue.
and my dick joke. So you saw Mr. Powers? That's what I said. Got wax. Oh, we did this already.
Oh.
Man, we're really off today. Oh, we did better on the first part of this trial. Wrong button. Blood out!
Objection! My dick!
Whips it out on the banister there. Let me get this straight, old bag, or Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you?
Just a moment, Mr. Wright.
Why, whip your dick out.
Let me see that photo. That's not Austin Powers. What is this exactly?
None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Oldie Tokyo. Mrs. Oldbag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right?
No, they can't. Oh, well, I mean, I wonder.
True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. You should have done Edgeworth in your voice, and we could have been like Edgeworth and Phoenix.
As if and my voice doesn't fit Edgeworth.
Okay, I know, but it just would have been cool. I know that. I wasn't born yesterday.
No one discussed is accusing you of that, Miss Witness.
He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently.
However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you?
Nosy old man, of course I have proof. What? Even Edgeworth is surprised.
The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. Wow, whole windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good.
Let's hear about your proof then. The man in the photo. Austin Powers.
I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his legs, see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy?
So he has sprained his ankle. Very well. Mr. White, you may cross-examine the witness.
She's gotta be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals.
Telling you what you have to do again. Yo, press the witness.
Whippersnapper! Hey, I haven't said anything yet. I'll have you know I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Everything I've said is on the record. You always whining about each other pointing fingers this way, and that's enough to make an old lady want to cry.
Mr. White, please, for all our sakes, try not to upset the witness.
I think Edgeworth has met his match.
Hold it.
Who was present at the run-through? Well, let's see. There was Powers, he's the Steel Samurai, then poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate, and me.
And what exactly were you doing?
Observing, just observing. What about the assistant? Oh, she was off moving backdrops around and such, so she didn't see the run-through then. Trip and fall? Yes, and I think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh! So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course.
You helped make it better?
I kissed it where it hurt.
Let's just skip over that part, shall we?
Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle.
You may continue your testimony.
He broke a prop? Sure did. His own samurai spear. His samurai spear? The murder weapon? Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it. This strikes me as a significant detail. I'd better write this down in the court record.
It broke.
I mean, y'all couldn't have examined that and seen it?
Oh, Mikey has something to say. She's an ace detective.
Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Thus the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot. Okay.
I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there's one thing that bothers me. Which is? Where is the Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes. And it is clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right.
Are you sure you're sure, Your Honor? Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers.
The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please?
No need to ask twice.
Witness's account continued.
Oh, you say continue there instead of just can't? You want to say co all the damn time?
Well, co sounds good. Can't doesn't.
The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them.
So, if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. White, you may cross-examine the witness. We have proof that someone else went to the studio. I believe.
Oh wait, are we still in the press or ready to present?
I think we can present evidence.
Didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the young detective. And then, after some rubbish about it being a secret, pal, he told me everything. I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officers' fondness for donuts.
Yeah, I think we can present it.
What do I even have in my...
Something that shows someone else went to the studio.
That's Ernie's badge.
Please present your badge. You mean to do that?
I did it for you. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence.
It does? I don't see anything contradictory.
Huh? Really?
Objectionable. Do I think make accusations? I don't think your badge has anything to do with this case, Mr. White.
Whoops, that didn't go so well. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Time of death, 10:15 at 2:30 p.m. Cross pierced through the chest by a spear. Guide map. Right, okay. Card key.
That's Will Powers' card key. Yippee.
Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time.
Look at this photograph.
This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture? In here, I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Ooh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2? The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo?
Order. Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright.
Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not one, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there's only one data for one of the photos. I think there's supposed to be only one. Never mind. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access. The security lady herself. Yeah, me. You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes. That's what it would seem to mean.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help!
Huh? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either.
Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper?
Something the matter, Miss Oldbag?
That's right. I just remembered something.
Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai?
Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way.
I see. Your testimony, please. The other person.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see? Come to think of it, now I can remember throwing out one photo that day.
Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this.
Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it.
Right. Anyway, Mr. White, please begin the cross-examination.
Well, I'd say this would stand for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this.
And by unexpected, I mean completely expected.
Dr. David Schmurtz in Court with Phoenix, right? This is unexpected. And by unexpected, I mean completely expected.
Objection, Your Honor. Talk about Perry.
Another job? That's right. I check all the people that pass by the main gate that day. I look closely at every one of the photos the security camera takes.
Do you back up all the security camera data?
Well, they keep telling me to, yes. But those computers are just so frustrating. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces, for the most part. For the most part. This is a murder trial, Mrs. Oldbag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Well, who in the heck was in that photo you all erased? I don't know why I added the all there. A fanboy. For fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those are the words. Your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area.
That's where Pennywise hangs out.
The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside, and well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain. I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers. Kids? So, on the photo that you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade.
Order. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on the way to the studios that day. One was the steel samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be about in 2nd or 3rd grade.
Oh, yes, well, we see this type here every day. Can't stop 'em, can't catch 'em.
A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy. I held it myself, apparently.
Right, as I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data.
Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect.
Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him.
This court will take a 5-minute recess. Recess! I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. October 18th, 11:08 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3.
Mr. Powers? Oh, wait. Damn it.
Man, Finks does great impressions.
Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio! I was sleeping, honest!
So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo?
How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really.
What? You should take better care of stuff.
I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick, what are we going to do?
First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this.
Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day.
Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey, Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edward, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there's still no one else who could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts?
The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime.
Order. Interesting. Let us hear you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you'll be penalized.
Right. Great. The mistakes weren't high enough.
So, who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder?
It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Old Bag. What? Whippersnapper?
Order, order. Is this true, Old Bag?
Old Bag? That's Ms. Old Bag to you. Ms. Old Bag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume, then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder.
Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume?
Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers.
I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. You get a gold star.
Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby.
Hey, Sherlock Holmes doesn't exist. It's Sherlock Sholmes.
That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump in with an objection and some new damning evidence?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, did the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there. Do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way? The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Ms. Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive, too.
Indeed.
That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased.
He's only a grade schooler, though, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it?
That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright?
That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is this be nice to the kids and mean to your elders' day? Whippersnapper. I have proof. Proof?
Indeed. Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. We have proof. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder. Alright, well, let's see.
The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key?
I see.
How could a lawyer with no formal relations to the studio have a card key?
Don't ask that, Judge. Well, would the witness care to comment on this?
The Windbag. Speechless. This has got to be a first.
Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness. Miss Wendy, what was her name? Something Old Bag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this Old Bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. Day 1 complete.
Wait a second! I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me! I'm talking. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk.
Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about?
By whom?
Huh. You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk?
Well, testify.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studio on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Miss Oldbag, This is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now?
Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Hold it.
So you were told not to talk. That's right, by the studio and the TV bigwigs, no less.
Why didn't I hear about this?
Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer for starters. The director?
We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of the action scene without a director? Of course.
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. It's a Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was falling over.
Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination?
I think I've already asked all my questions, but... Well, I just wondered if you wanted anything for the sake of the series. If anything worked better for you.
It's been a while since I played this.
What?
Well,
no, I just didn't know if maybe you wanted to wrap up the video or anything. Ms. Oldbag, this is a trial for murder. I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side. So you got your bonus and you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. Phoenix really seems to be leading me to take a break, so...
Take a break.
Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and, some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers.
The court acknowledges their defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor.
You sound a little bit like me there, Edgeworth.
No. This ends the day's proceeding in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned. October 18th, 1:04 p.m., District Court, Lobby Number 3. Fan out, Lobby Number 3.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me.
Oh, really, it's nothing. Oh, what should I say?
We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination.
So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that steel samurai costume? Could it really have been old Windbag?
What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers.
Poor old Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her.
Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios.
Right, we'll be back to visit you soon.
Thanks. Thanks, guys.
And thanks for watching this episode of Gabba Game Night. Like, comment, subscribe, go to our VC, and most importantly,
Whippersnapper.
good night.
Gabba the game night, Gabba the game night, Gabba the game night, yay. Come on and watch him play games every other day. If you subscribe now, you won't miss out on any of the action. So come on, click that subscribe button.